Welcome back to another unforgettable week in the world of General Hospital, where time never really stands still, but somehow, every second matters. The city may be calm on the surface, but underneath, the heartbeat never stops. Secrets linger in the corners. Tension hides behind every quiet smile. And the past? It never truly stays buried. This week wasn't loud, it was layered. It moved like a shadow, slow and deliberate, weaving through lives that are still trying to find balance after everything that's been lost and revealed. The tone was different, not explosive, but haunting. Every word felt like a confession waiting to be spoken, every silence a sign of something about to change. It was a week where choices echoed louder than actions, where trust hung by a thread, and the truth, no matter how deeply hidden, began to find its way to the surface. There was love, but it was complicated. There was pain, but it had purpose. And there was a sense that somewhere, someone was finally seeing things for what they really are. The beauty of General Hospital lies in its rhythm, that slow, hypnotic pull between chaos and calm. One moment, there's stillness. The next, everything shifts. A glance becomes a warning. A sentence becomes a wound. A single decision becomes the start of something no one can undo. This week, the world inside Port Charles felt smaller, more intimate, yet every scene carried a weight too heavy to ignore. It was about reflection, redemption, and the quiet reckoning that comes after too many mistakes. You could feel the undercurrent of fear, of longing, of hope that refuses to fade even when the odds feel impossible. Because here, people don't give up easily, not on love, not on forgiveness, not on the truth. And that's what made this week so powerful. It wasn't about the explosions or the shouting, it was about the stillness in between. The way emotions lingered long after the words stopped. The way someone looked away, not because they didn't care, but because they cared too much. It was a reminder that even in a place filled with chaos, there's still room for vulnerability. Still room for light. As the days unfolded, patterns began to repeat. Old wounds reopened. Promises were tested. But through it all, there was movement, subtle but certain. The kind that tells you change is coming, whether you're ready for it or not. Because in this world, nothing ever truly stays the same. Every ending opens the door to something new, and sometimes, what comes next is even more unpredictable than what came before. So if you've been watching closely, you know, something is shifting. And this week wasn't just about what happened, it was about what's about to happen. The calm before the storm. The moment before everything you thought you knew begins to unravel. Before we dive into it all, take a second to like, comment, and share this video with your fellow GH fans. Let's talk about what hit hardest, what scenes stayed with you, and what you think it all means as we move forward. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you never miss a recap, a theory, or an emotional deep dive right here every week. Because this is more than a soap, it's a universe of emotion, mystery, and redemption. And this week proved once again that in General Hospital, even the quietest moments can change everything. So take a breath, settle in, and let's revisit the week of October 6th through October 10th, 2025. A week filled with reflection, reckoning, and the kind of quiet tension that always leads to something unforgettable. Let's begin. It was a day of legacy, secrets, and heartbreak in Port Charles. One that changed everything for the Quartermaines, and everyone connected to them. The family gathered in somber anticipation for the reading of Monica Quartermaine's will, but no one was ready for the emotional storm that followed. In a shocking twist, Monica's long-lost sister, Ronnie, was revealed, and to everyone's surprise, she inherited the Quartermaine mansion itself. The revelation sent shockwaves through the room, as decades of family rivalry, buried resentment, and hidden truths rose to the surface. But the biggest heartbreak came for Drew Kane, who learned he had been completely cut out of Monica's will. The look on his face said it all: disbelief, anger, and betrayal. Once again, Drew felt like an outsider in the very family he fought so hard to belong to. That rejection fueled his rage, and by the end of the day, he made one thing clear: he's not going down quietly. Meanwhile, across town, Portia Robinson faced a different kind of crisis. In her office at General Hospital, she felt lightheaded and nearly collapsed, a sign that something deeper may be wrong. Isaiah Gannon, the doctor who's grown close to her, rushed to her aid. His feelings for Portia are undeniable, but Portia, torn between professionalism and vulnerability, begged him to keep their relationship a secret. For now, their bond is hidden, but it's only a matter of time before the walls start closing in. Elsewhere, Britt Westbourne found herself walking a dangerous emotional line. She did everything in her power to keep James from meeting his father, Nathan, claiming it would overwhelm them both. Jason Morgan, always the loyal protector, accepted her explanation, but Britt's world is built on a shaky foundation of secrets. One truth about Nathan's past could destroy everything she's built with Jason, and everyone she's trying to protect. At the same time, Carly Corinthos found herself once again caught in the web of Port Charles drama. She confided in Jack, her old flame and her only real ally at the moment. With Drew's shooting investigation heating up, Carly fears she's being dragged into something bigger than she can control. Jack reassured her that she has nothing to worry about, he'll stand by her, even serve as her alibi if things take a turn. But deep down, Carly knows, this is only the calm before another storm. And just when Port Charles thought it had enough surprises, Jocelyn Jacks made a dramatic return, pretending she'd been in Australia, but the truth is far more dangerous. Jocelyn has been on a secret WSB mission, living a double life that not even her mother knows about. The lies she's telling now may protect her mission, but when the truth surfaces, it could destroy everything she's fought to keep safe. Back at the Quartermain estate, things only got worse. Drew's anger boiled over, and he filed a lawsuit against Tracy Quartermain for assault, after she threw him out of Monica's memorial service. Tracy, of course, stood her ground, refusing to apologize or show any regret. In true Quartermain fashion, she smirked and vowed that the case would be thrown out in seconds. But underneath her bravado, there's a flicker of fear, because Tracy knows Drew has nothing left to lose. Meanwhile, Curtis Ashford began to panic. He knows the police might uncover the blackmail material Drew once kept, evidence that could expose Portia and destroy both of their reputations. With the walls closing in and secrets unraveling, Curtis has to make a choice: protect Portia or save himself. The day ended on a chilling note. With the Quartermain mansion now belonging to a stranger, Drew's fury ignited, Portia's health in question, and Jocelyn's lies threatening to come undone. In Port Charles, everything feels like it's teetering on the edge of explosion, family against family, secret against secret, love against loyalty. And as Monica's will rewrites the Quartermain legacy, one thing is certain: the echoes of this day will haunt Port Charles for a long, long time to come. Port Charles was anything but peaceful today. The city may be small, but the drama running through its streets was larger than life, filled with deception, heartbreak, and warnings that could change everything. The day began with Britt Westbourne making a bold and chilling move that left fans gasping. Behind her sharp wit and icy poise, Britt has always been a master manipulator, but today, she went further than ever before. Cornering Jocelyn Jacks, Britt dropped a bombshell that could destroy Joss's life as she knows it. In a moment dripping with tension, Britt revealed that she knows something Joss desperately wanted to keep hidden. Her threat was simple: comply or pay the price. The air between them was thick with dread. Joss, normally confident and outspoken, was left shaken. Her voice trembled as she tried to reason with Britt, but there was no mercy in Britt's eyes, only cold satisfaction. Whatever Britt's endgame is, she's holding all the cards for now, and Joss finds herself backed into a corner with no clear way out. Elsewhere in Port Charles, Isaiah Gannon and Curtis Ashford found themselves on opposite sides of a growing storm. What began as a disagreement over professional boundaries erupted into a raw, emotional showdown that exposed years of buried resentment. Isaiah accused Curtis of hypocrisy, claiming that Curtis hides behind his charm while making decisions that hurt the very people he swears to protect. Curtis fired back with equal intensity, telling Isaiah that trust is earned, not demanded. Their voices echoed through the room, their friendship crumbling in real time. Both men walked away angry, but beneath the fury was pain from feeling misunderstood, betrayed, and cornered by choices they never wanted to make. This wasn't just a clash of egos, it was the kind of argument that changes everything. The question now is whether they can ever rebuild what's been broken. Meanwhile, Alexis Davis stepped into the role of conscience and caution. Always sharp and deeply intuitive, Alexis sensed the danger brewing before anyone else did. Sitting across from Sonny Corinthos and Carly Spencer, she issued a heartfelt but dire warning, one that neither of them could afford to ignore. Alexis reminded Sonny and Carly that their decisions don't just affect themselves anymore. The power struggles, the secrets, the quiet wars behind closed doors, they all come with consequences. You two have weathered storms before, she told them, her voice steady but heavy with concern, but this one feels different. This time, you might not see it coming until it's too late. Carly, ever defiant, brushed off Alexis's words at first. But Sonny, usually the calm in chaos, was clearly rattled. He knows that when Alexis speaks with that much conviction, she's rarely wrong. Somewhere deep down, even Carly could sense that this wasn't just another warning, it was a prophecy. As night falls over Port Charles, everyone is standing at a crossroads. Britt's dark leverage over Joss could shatter friendships and families. Isaiah and Curtis's feud threatens to pull others into its orbit. And Alexis's words hang in the air like a storm cloud, a warning that something big, something dangerous, is coming for everyone in their path. No one in Port Charles is safe from the fallout that's brewing. Secrets are about to explode, alliances will be tested, and the lines between friend and enemy will blur beyond recognition. In this city, every whisper matters, every choice has a cost, and every warning, especially one from Alexis Davis, could mean the difference between survival and destruction. Tomorrow's episode promises that the chaos is only just beginning. The episode opened with Britt Westbourne facing off against Jack Brennan, a no-nonsense WSB agent who wasn't afraid to play hardball. Britt had been walking a dangerous line, juggling secrets about Jocelyn Jack's WSB involvement while trying to manipulate her way into luxury. Jack caught wind of Britt's scheming and confronted her directly. His warning was crystal clear: if Britt ever compromised an undercover agent or crossed WSB boundaries, she would find herself behind bars in Steinmauer prison. The threat wasn't idle, it was the kind that sent chills down Britt's spine. Despite his intimidating stance, Britt stood her ground, insisting she had leverage. But as she demanded a Metro court suite from Jocelyn in exchange for her silence, it was clear Britt was losing control of her own game. The power she thought she had was slipping fast, and one wrong move could expose her to enemies far more dangerous than she realized. Meanwhile, Drew Kane found himself at the center of another moral storm. Curtis Ashford and Portia Robinson, determined to see where Drew's loyalties truly lay, set a trap to test him. They wanted to know if Drew would stoop to blackmail to get what he wanted, and for a moment, it looked like he might. But when Portia pushed back with fierce determination, Drew backed down, refusing to cross that line. It was a small act of restraint that carried big consequences. Curtis and Portia breathed a sigh of relief, believing the shadow Drew had cast over their lives was finally lifting. Yet beneath that relief was unease, because in Port Charles, peace is never permanent. Portia's day took a deeply personal turn when she received shocking news: she was pregnant. The discovery left her stunned, standing in silence as the truth sank in. Her mind raced with questions: how to tell Curtis, what it would mean for their already fragile marriage, and whether they were ready for a new life when their own relationship still carried scars. For now, she chose to keep the secret to herself, knowing that revealing it too soon could change everything between them. While chaos brewed in one part of town, love quietly blossomed in another. Gio Palmieri and Emma Scorpio Drake finally took the leap that fans had been waiting for. After months of growing closeness and shy affection, the two confessed their feelings and shared a tender kiss. It was a moment of youthful joy and innocence, a reminder that even amid the constant storm of deceit and danger, Port Charles still has room for new beginnings and genuine connection. Carly Spencer, however, was consumed by fear and guilt. The investigation into Drew's recent shooting was tightening, and Carly's conscience weighed heavily on her. Her past words, a threat she'd made against Drew in a heated moment, now hung over her like a dark cloud. She feared the police might twist her anger into motive. Seeking solace, she confided in Elizabeth Weber, hoping Liz might offer clarity or comfort. But Liz could only listen, aware that once the authorities started digging, no one connected to Drew would be safe from suspicion. At the police department, Anna Devane and Harrison Chase were closing in on what they believed was their biggest break yet. They secured a search warrant for the Quartermaine mansion, convinced it would uncover vital evidence tied to Drew's case. But in true Port Charles fashion, nothing went as planned. Ronnie, sharp and calculating as ever, stepped in at the last minute and stopped the search dead in its tracks, exploiting a technicality in the warrant's address to invalidate the entire order. Anna was furious. She knew that every passing minute gave the culprit time to destroy evidence and erase any trace of their involvement. Her instincts screamed that something bigger was at play, something just out of reach. By the end of the episode, every storyline had reached a boiling point. Britt's manipulation of Jocelyn threatened to spiral into a scandal that could ruin them both. Drew's restraint offered temporary peace, but Portia's secret pregnancy added new complications that could shatter that calm. Carly's paranoia over the investigation grew stronger, while Anna and Chase's stalled progress made it clear that justice in Port Charles would be anything but straightforward. As the night settled over the city, one thing was certain: the calm facade was cracking. The secrets that everyone thought they could control were slipping through their fingers, setting the stage for explosive confrontations in the days to come. Port Charles was a city on the edge, where loyalty comes at a price, love is never simple, and every truth revealed comes with devastating consequences. Thursday's episode unfolded like a storm sweeping through Port Charles. Secrets unraveled, trust fractured, and emotions ran dangerously high. Anna Devane was at the center of the storm, laser-focused on cracking the mystery behind the Quartermain shooting. What began as a standard investigation took a sharp turn when she discovered surveillance footage that shattered a key alibi. The footage showed Nina Reeves alone at the critical time of the shooting, voiding Willow's statement and placing new suspicion on several players. Anna's sharp instincts told her this was more than a random act of violence. This was a carefully calculated move, and someone close to the Quartermains was holding a dangerous secret. The stakes in her investigation climbed higher than ever, and her determination to bring the truth to light was crystal clear. Meanwhile, emotions boiled over between Carly Spencer and Jack Brennan. Carly, already carrying the weight of protecting her family, confronted Jack with fiery intensity after learning he had known about Vaughn's status as a WSB agent and kept it from her. She felt blindsided, betrayed, and furious that his silence put Jocelyn at risk. Jack tried to defend himself, claiming it was about keeping sensitive intel classified, but Carly wasn't having it. Her trust in him, something she'd been carefully rebuilding, cracked in that moment. For Carly, trust isn't just a word, it's everything, and Jack's choice left a wound that may not heal easily. Elsewhere, Michael Corinthos delivered a bittersweet offer to Willow Tate, supervised visitation with Wiley and Amelia. The moment was heavy with emotion. Michael's voice steady but distant, Willow's heart caught between gratitude and pain. To her, it was something, but not enough. She wanted to hold her children freely, not with restrictions. Michael's motives remained shadowed, leaving Willow to question whether this was a step toward healing or just another way for him to stay in control. The complicated love and resentment between them simmered just beneath the surface. At the same time, Jason Morgan and Britt Westbourne's relationship reached another painful breaking point. The two clashed fiercely, Britt demanding that Jason put her above everyone else, Jason quietly but firmly standing his ground. Their shared history and lingering feelings couldn't mask the deep cracks forming between them. Jason's loyalty, forever torn between his loved ones and the truth, made it impossible for Britt to feel secure. And Britt's secrets, the ones she keeps close to her chest, only made Jason's doubts grow louder. It was a raw, emotional showdown, the kind of moment that defines whether a bond survives or falls apart. The night also brought a surprising twist: the return of Nathan West. His arrival sent a ripple through Port Charles, especially for Britt. Determined to reconnect with his son James and make amends for the past, Nathan's reappearance carried both hope and unease. Britt's nervous energy around him didn't go unnoticed, and questions immediately surfaced. Was there more to their history than meets the eye? Damian Spinelli, ever the tech genius and truth seeker, sensed the shift in the air. His suspicion of Britt's motives only deepened as he quietly began digging into her past. Spinelli's instincts have rarely failed him, and this time, his gut told him something wasn't right. By the end of the episode, the air in Port Charles was thick with secrets and uncertainty. Anna's investigation had blown a hole in Willow's alibi, Carly and Jack's bond was fractured, Willow and Michael stood on opposite sides of hope and control, Jason and Britt faced a painful emotional reckoning, and Nathan's return added a new layer of intrigue. Spinelli's watchful eye promised that no secret would stay buried for long. It was a night where loyalties were tested, love was bruised, and the truth crept closer, ready to shake everything and everyone to the core. In Port Charles, nothing stays hidden forever. Today on General Hospital, the quiet corners of Port Charles are anything but calm as the drama reaches a breaking point. 3 storylines explode in a way that sets the tone for everything still to come: secrets revealed, loyalties tested, and lives on the brink of change. Portia Robinson's day begins with tension in the air, but nothing could prepare her for the emotional weight of the news she receives. After days of uncertainty, the test results are in. She's pregnant. In that single moment, everything shifts. The air grows heavy. Her hands tremble as reality sets in. It's not just about the baby, it's about the ripple effect this revelation will create. Her complicated history with Curtis, the unresolved wounds in their family, and the fragile trust that's already hanging by a thread, all of it is now on the line. This pregnancy isn't a small twist, it's a game changer. It's the kind of storyline that pulls everyone around her into its orbit, whether they're ready or not. Meanwhile, Michael Corinthos continues to be the picture of unsettling calm. Evidence is stacking up around him, whispers are growing louder, and yet, he remains composed. No panic, no cracks in his armor. Just silence and strategy. People around him are starting to question what that calm really means. Is Michael completely confident because he knows the truth, or is he hiding something so big that nothing can shake him? Every step he takes feels measured, like a man playing a very long game. And the scary part? He might just be winning. And then comes the move that sets the entire board on fire, Anna Devane's warrant. Anna has been relentless, trusting her instincts, refusing to back down even when the pressure mounted. And now, her persistence pays off. Her new warrant uncovers something significant, something that changes the tone of this entire investigation. This isn't just another breadcrumb, it's a smoking gun. And once this evidence hits the surface, the dominoes will begin to fall. Every glance, every conversation, every secret hidden behind closed doors suddenly matters more. Portia's pregnancy, Michael's steady mask, Anna's discovery, 3 separate threads now twisting together into one explosive story that's about to blow wide open. In Port Charles, nothing stays buried forever. If you've been following every twist, betrayal, and jaw-dropping moment, now is the time to lean in. Hit like, drop a comment, share with your fellow fans, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest daily breakdowns, deep dive analysis, and dramatic reveals. Because today was just the spark, the real fire is still ahead.